podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to The Voice of the People. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
BoxingVoice.com.
Man, I feel I'm the best in the sport, and to be the best, you got to be the best.
BoxingVoice.com. To be one champion, one face, one name. His name's Deontay Wilder. BoxingVoice.com.
Just the fact that I've been one of the contenders for the longest time.
110%. There's no doubt in my mind that fight will happen. There's no doubt in my mind I'll beat Wilder as well.
I'm scaring heavyweights each and every time. Don't you see it? You know, I am the most feared. And if I'm not, then I want somebody to shut me up. I want somebody to prove that to me. I want to be proven wrong. But right now, I don't feel like nobody's gonna prove me wrong. Who has the guts?
Good morning, TBV. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another glorious Monday morning edition of the Boxing Voice Radio, hashtag TBV podcast, wherever hashtags are used. We got a nice jam-packed show for you, and if all things go correct as scheduled, we should have Lenny Wilson, trainer of a few guys, Richardson Hitchens. He's worked along many notable champions, but we'll let him fill you guys in. I don't want to give away any of the secrets, but we're here to be talking the heavyweight division yet again. Efe Ajagba was rumored to have signed with James Prince, and I think that's pretty much confirmed with the social media of both James Prince, the manager advisor, and Efe Ajagba, the heavyweight athlete. And we don't have any interviews with James Prince or anything like that, but I do have some information from Efe's original manager, Mr. Finkel. They have a common, he trained, he has two heavyweights, not trained, but he has two heavyweights, right? But we'll talk about this and what does it mean? Is this, a path for Efe to go to Top Rank? Should he stay on PBC and just use James as an advisor? I mean, what do you think this is? But this is what we're going to be talking about. And if we really get lucky, we might get the author of this article, Jake Donovan, and maybe he can tell us if he contacted James Prince or not, because I got some information of my own to add. But good morning, fellas. What it do?
I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Lynch the conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody like me. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match.
Good morning, y'all. Top of the week. And we talking Efe Ajagba and Mr. James Prince, who's been in the business for a long time. So let's just get that cup of coffee ready. If you're across the pond, tea is what you fancy. You get that ready. If not, a cup of mud is always a way to go. Cheers, Mario.
It's me, Mario.
What up, fellas? I'm bringing down the vibes today.
You sound like you 10 feet away from the mic.
My bad, big dog. Shoot. I don't even know why. This is how out of it I am that I use my portable one when my other one is sitting right here. But, I did this thing last night that I do where I sleepwalk. I don't know if y'all have ever dealt with that. Yeah, I sleepwalk. Bro, let me tell you something. I'm going to say it now because T-Mobile can't get me anymore. I swear to God, this is a true story, bro. And this has always had to do with my anxiety and stuff. There was one time in college. No, it wasn't in college. This was I was 26 at this time. Yo, I swear to God, I woke up without knowing it, walked around the whole house, did a bunch of stuff. We had cameras, so I put my phone inside the microwave that thing. Bro, I had and like I woke up the next morning, I was like, did I do that? I was like, nah, I'm good. And then my phone wouldn't work. I was like, okay, I definitely did that. I haven't done nothing that bad in a long time, but I must have slept walk and ate or something.
Bro,
last night.
you need
My
3
stomach
Red Bulls
hurts right now.
You need 3 Red Bulls.
I'm on the second cup right now.
Last night was michelada time for you, but yeah, man. Jay Prince signs a Efe Ajagba, man. I like it. What do you think? I mean, Ness did mention him playing an advisory role, and you know, I read something along the lines of that on the article that maybe he would play that part. You know, I don't see nothing wrong with that either. You know, PBC's put him on many cards, so it's not like he hasn't been pushed by PBC. And according to what I read, it was never really obligated. You know, they did it.
Yeah, it wasn't obligated for him to be on PBC. They did it as a favor to Shelly and Richard Schaefer. So I think what Jake Donovan, the author of the article, was trying to relay was that Al Heyman doesn't have any paper on Efe, which is something that we kind of always knew, but I guess we figured since he was giving him all those PBC fights on Fox Sports undercards, that maybe he would have put him under some sort of contract. But I don't know. I mean, Mario, you tend to be the guy that prefers other, you know, promoters. Where do you think Efe goes? Do you think he even goes anywhere? Was this just simply adding an advisor, which to me is just fishy? You got Al there. You could definitely, you know, get advised by Al and still have Shelly as your manager, but you bring on, you know, James Prince. I mean, this basically has the boxing world assuming that he's gonna walk away from Shelly and the whole PBC regime, that he'll be on Top Rank. Is this what at least you guys are insinuating? I mean, how are you receiving this information?
Listen, I'm going to be very, very straightforward here. And I'm going to preface what I say by saying that this isn't about, oh, Al's better, he's better, you know, whatever. I have my opinions on that. But this is not that show. What this show is to let y'all know that there is a man by the name of James.
That mic,
I'm so sorry. I was just trying to fix it. I'm trying to let you know that James Prince is a way to go. Not only is it a way to go, it's a possible better way. And I don't mean because he's smarter or better or knows boxing more, anything like that. It's for one reason. Because everybody knows that in this game, you don't mess with James Prince. And now nobody messing with Efe. I'm not saying they were doing that before. I'm just saying, like, this is a structured, like, this is a deal where he could stay right where he's at. Like, I don't think he has to leave. Like, everybody assumes it, and I understand why they assume it, and it makes sense to assume it that way, but I'm not sure he does. And here's the other thing. I'm not sure that he doesn't. I think maybe we see him play both sides of the fence for a little bit, which could be really cool. Now, obviously, he's going to have to commit somewhere, because in this day and age, it's like, you know, this boxing wars game is like, you know, gangs out here. You got to pick a side. And at this point, it looks like he's favoring up to the Top Rank side, but I don't think that's necessarily true. I think what he did was he got the representation that worked best for him. He's out of Texas. James Prince is from Texas. That might not seem like that big a deal to the outside, but I promise you that anybody from Texas that has any familiarities with him, with James Prince, knows that. You know, he runs the town like his own personal kingdom.
So you're saying, like, you know, being with my man James Prince, you got some good backing.
Yeah, but being with Shelly Finkel,
the ultimate backing.
But being with Shelly Finkel, you got the ultimate backing in boxing. Like, Shelly, not only, I mean, Wilder's today's news. Like, he is responsible.
I think Jay got the cash, bro. He got the cash flow.
So what? Shelly doesn't have it? You know?
I don't know. I don't know too many people that got cash.
Bro, do you know that Shelly he sold all his fighters to Al. He only kept like 3, which was Wilder, then he signed to Ajagba. Shelly Finkel is no small-time manager. He literally sold like 100 and something fighters out. Danny Garcia included. I got interviews with Angel where he's like, yeah, man, Shelly let our contract run out and he ain't never even called us back. He sold everybody and only kept Wilder. That being said, remember that he had Vladimir Klitschko. Remember that he had Vladimir when he made the AJ fight. Like, Shelly is not some bum, you know what I'm saying, that people want to make him out to be just because of his association with Wilder and the hatred that people have for Wilder. Shelly has been putting big fights together long time. But let's add some mystery to this, right? So I had reached out to Shelly because when the news was all surfacing, and speaking of surfacing, I guess we should give the exact details as to what is being reported. Allegedly, the future business conducted by Efe Ajagba will take place under new management. But see, I have an issue with that word management, but we'll get back to that. Efe Ajagba was obviously unbeaten. He was being showcased on that PBC stable, and it seems like they being Prince and Ajagba, both announced on their respective social medias a partnership. Prince took to his social media and said to Efe, welcome to the James Prince family, Efe Ajagba. Prince revealed on, obviously, his verified Instagram. Then he put, the real Nigerian king hits harder than Deontay Wilder. And hashtag James Prince, hashtag we win, the winner's circle, the winning team, hashtag mob ties. So not only did he claim his alliance to or allegiance to Efe, but he also announced him as a harder puncher than Deontay Wilder. And if you go to James Prince's social media, the post is still there, and he got a lot of backlash for it. Not in a negative way, but definitely like, yo, congratulations on the signing, but he don't hit harder than Wilder. You know what I mean? Things like that. Efe himself, posted on social media about the obvious relationship, right? But it struck me as odd. I didn't understand why Efe would need to sign. So I reached out to Shelly, and before I give you my conversation with Shelly, let me just screen share here the Efe Ajagba post with him and James Prince side by side at one of the offices. And it just says from Efe Ajagba himself, his verified Instagram, things just got real. Big thanks to at James Prince for embracing me. It's only up from here, thank God. And then obviously a bunch of people here. And then, the comments, everyone excited. Big things are coming. It just got real. Like, everyone excited. Look, but there is the conspiracy. You leaving PBC? A lot of respect for James. James Prince, one of the realest people. Congratulations. All through there. You know what I mean? So, Efe getting love for his decision, and like Mario said, a smart one, right? So I reached out to Shelly, and I said, good afternoon, Shelly. Nestor here. Just wanted to ask, are you ready for that interview? Because we all know I've been waiting maybe 6 months now and monthly reaching out to him. If not, please give me a quote on Efe Ajagba, who allegedly has left PBC for Top Rank and signed with James Prince. Anything will do. So he came back and he said, Nestor, I am not ready to speak, but your info on Efe is incorrect. So I came back and I said, so just to be clear, he's not with Jay Prince? Last one, only answer I need. And he said, I am his manager. That is my only comment. So very strange how he chose to answer that, correct? Like, he could have just simply been like, yeah, Efe is now with Prince. He's his advisor. I'm still the manager. No, it was more evasive than that, was it not? And, I wanted to bring that up. Mario cut out, so I guess we won't get his thoughts. But what do you think about what Shelly, his current pre-existing manager, had to say? No recognition, no welcoming.
Well, I'm gonna have to say that, for a response like that, I might be inclined to think that things are not fully worked out yet or smoothed out yet. Maybe there's still some wrinkles to iron out and to talk about. And maybe that's why he's just giving you that position. I'm still the manager, and he doesn't want to speak too much on it anymore. It's really cryptic, You can only assume on what's going on. But if he's saying that he's still the manager, then I guess the role is still not as clear as we would want it to, because an advisory role and a manager role, could that be two separate things? Could he just be sort of like an advisor?
Absolutely.
And
the article states that
we've seen that before in boxing, by the way.
And the article states that Prince is on as an advisory role, but again, the post says something different, right? We got the word management there, but then we got advisory role. So it goes a lot of different ways. That's why I wanted to speak with the author. Just text him again. We also scheduled to have Lenny Wilson in about 11 minutes, but I haven't heard from either. So we might be rocking out solo dolo, man. Monday morning, getting people hard.
Getting people hard.
Yeah. That's something interesting, though, because, that would give him the opportunity to try and attempt to play both sides. And I'm not saying that it works in his favor, but with that team, who says it doesn't? Like, go ahead. I dare you. Bet against them. Like, you know what I'm saying? And
I mean, listen.
I don't know.
Sour diesel in effect. Let me tell you something.
Everybody put your hands in the air.
At some point, there's a lot of hands in a cookie jar. We forgetting Ringstar Promotions, a.k.a. Richard Schaefer, is the promoter. So now that means we got to sign a co-promotion with Top Rank, or we keep working with PBC, giving Al some sort of cut. Because, they said he wasn't obligated to fight because there was no contract. But you think I ain't get a cut? Like, I ain't just putting him on for free. I'm doing you a favor, Mario, of letting you get your fight on my television. But I'm eating. I need a cut. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's just a lot of hands. If you telling me you got James in, and that's cool, because we know I wanted you, and I seen that Doomy did it. So Doomy, refresh yourself on what it was Bob was talking about when it comes to that triangle that is James, Prince, Floyd, Mayweather. I mean, as the story I remember, being told many, many moons ago, was that Floyd wanted to buy himself out of his contract, and James Prince is the one that did that. Now, if those details are incorrect, Doomy will let us know, because he found an article where Bob kind of touches on the matter. But I only bring that up to say that James has been doing it on an elite level for a long time. He's been the advisor manager for Floyd for almost 5 years. He was Roy Jones's manager. Obviously Shakur, Andre Ward, Troy Isley, Keyshawn Davis, who's not even a pro yet, was already linked to be signed to him. He signed Big Baby when nobody thought Big Baby had, an out.
A chance.
He gave him one. So this is very interesting. And again, we've never heard of a James Prince, Shelly Finkel fighter. We never heard of a James Prince, Ringstar, Richard Schaefer fighter. So this is left field strange. Gotta look into it. What's going on?
I mean, I guess I could touch on that Floyd Mayweather thing. The article's not that long. I could read it pretty quickly if you wanted me to, just to give, I guess, a little substance to the topic. But it says, once upon a time, Houston rap legend Rap-A-Lot Records CEO James Prince served as Floyd Mayweather's manager. The two cut ties sometime around the end of 2003. But before they did, they were allegedly involved in an incident that ended with several of Floyd Mayweather's associates getting assaulted with baseball bats by men who may or may not have been associated with Prince. The details surrounding the incident are still murky more than a decade later. This is one of the only accounts of it that we could find. And because of Prince's reputation, they'll probably always be murky. But during his appearance on ESPN's Highly Questionable Today, Bob Arum was asked about it. Arum set up a fight with Mayweather around the time that Mayweather stopped working with Prince. Parentheses, it was likely his November 2003 fight with Philip Endow, though Arum doesn't say specifically. And according to Aram, that led to the incident in question. It also led to Aram paying Prince somewhere in the neighborhood of $600,000 on behalf of Mayweather. Aram is a smart man, so he didn't say too much about what allegedly happened between Mayweather and Prince on TV, especially with regards to Prince's perceived role in it. But he did say just enough to indicate what might have taken place between the two. Quote, "We were at dinner one night, and I got a call that there was a disturbance in my gym," Aram told Dan LeBatard and Bomani Jones. "Floyd apparently had asked us not to do a fight in October, but to do it in December after James Prince's contract with him had run out. The disturbance in my gym was that some people came over, with or without the knowledge of James Prince, and proceeded to break a couple of heads of people in Mayweather's camp with baseball bats. So the gym was splattered with blood. Floyd came to my office the next day and he said, 'Prince wants his money from the fight that's coming up.' I said, 'Fine. If that's what you want, I'll write him a letter of credit.' Floyd said, 'Prince don't do letters of credit. You better send that cash.' So I wrote the check and I made a contract with Prince's lawyer, and he got paid the money that he said he was entitled to as Floyd's manager." Aaron went to say that Prince was always very businesslike when he worked with him, and he referred to Prince as a man of his word. He also said that he didn't know whether or not Mayweather and Prince had experienced a falling out at the time, but he did say that at the end of the day, Prince ended up getting paid roughly $600,000 for ... something. Quote, "Whether Mayweather was afraid or whether he was doing the right thing, that's for Floyd to determine," Aram said. This was the percentage of Floyd's purse that Prince would have been entitled to. And then, the article finishes saying some other things, but that was pretty much it.
That's strange. Mario, did you ever hear it that way? I thought it was always backwards. I thought Prince got Floyd out of his Top Rank contract. Maybe we should Google that too. I wonder.
So Prince was with Floyd before they pulled out the contract. He was helping negotiate a new deal with Top Rank because the one that originally was signed was trash, according to him. But I'm gonna send y'all right now the autobiography for James Prince. You could hear it in Apple Music, and he reads it himself. That's what I like so much. It's his voice.
Yeah, I've heard of James Prince since I was young.
You heard it?
No, like I've heard of
you heard Prince. Of James Prince?
Yeah.
He tells the story of how he got hooked up with Floyd. What happened was he was in Vegas to sign Mike Tyson to a deal, and they had set everything up. And if I remember right, the next that day that he went to go see Mike, there was this. He said, in his words, not little kid, but he said there's this like other guy, really young fighter who was like, "Yo, what about me? Can you sign me?" And he was like, I just kind of blew him off, like, all right, yeah, whatever. The next day, they went back to that same gym, and he went to see Mike, and something about Mike's number had changed, or like the people that handle Mike basically didn't want James Prince anywhere near that. So he ended up seeing that same fighter, and that fighter ended up being Floyd Mayweather. And because he didn't want to leave Vegas without some sort of deal, they ended up etching a deal together. And he helped them, he definitely got out of the Top Rank contract, but, James Prince was able to negotiate so much more for him during that time. And it was just, Floyd owes James Prince a lot for the stuff that he did for him in that time, but what he owes him most of all is teaching him, how to deal with these people inside the fight game. And that's what the book talks about. They talk about the deal with Diego Corrales when Floyd Mayweather was supposed to fight him. And it's just a lot of insight. But I can tell you right now that James Prince is somebody who just doesn't mess around. You're not going to short his fighters. You ain't going to short him. And so, you're in well-protected hands. I'll just put it that way. From that's what I've learned from my time in boxing is, Prince get it done.
And and how would it work? As far as monies, if he works as an advisory, Shelly's a manager, promoter, like how is that pot, cut up? Especially if I feel my personal feeling, I feel like my man Jay Prince is the one with the cash. He's the one that's gonna put up the money. He's the one that's gonna put up the money for the fighter while he's not gaining money. You know what I'm saying? Like he did for Big Baby Miller. I feel like, his percentage is going to be a nice cut. You know, I feel like his involvement might just be a little bit beyond just advising, because then how do you claim that much money from a purse? You know what I'm saying? Like, how does that get? Isn't it like managers get 30% and
I
like
mean, the percentage is negotiated upon, just like an advisory role percentage would be negotiated. It's whatever Efe agreed to. That's what I said. Efe got a lot of hands in the pot. You know what I mean? Is he gonna say, yeah, take 30 of whatever business you bring? I mean, I wouldn't care to give James 30 of what he brings, but I'm gonna care to give him 30 of what Shelly brings or what Richard brings. You know what I mean? Like, that's different. I don't know if he's playing a advisory role in the traditional sense. That means he's gonna advise all the deals. So now if Richard and Shelly bring him a deal, and James supersedes it and then gives the final advice to Efe to make his ultimate decision, does that earn him a percentage? So, like, yo, we'll never know that, though, man. Like, we'll never know. Those are strange questions you're asking. I mean, I get they're legitimate and interesting, but, you know, that's information that we'll never know. I learned early on doing this, like, I used to ask purses and money, and, you know, people get like, what? You know, like, why are you in my business? Like, you don't need to know exactly what I'm making. And then I figured, you know, there's a lot of taxes and things involved. Like, people just ain't putting that out there. So I learned to just avoid certain questions that you can't get an answer for. And I believe you asking James, Shelly, Efe, Ronnie, Richard, hey, what's your percentage? They all gonna look at you like, man, I'm not doing an interview with you again. How about that? You know what I mean? Not that it's wrong. Not that it's wrong, because it would help us as boxing fans and insiders get a better familiarity, right? Like, the rumor is Al takes 10% and that other managers do take 30. You know what I mean? But it's a rumor until we can ask these questions.
I'm interested because, you know, and I'm pretty new to this whole business side. I like the fight. I like to look at the fight. I like, you know, I'm all about the fight, but, you know, I've learned so much being on here in the business side of it that, you know, I hear an advisory role. And to me, that's pretty cool, because if I wanted to be, you know, or to the future, want to be advisors in boxing, you know what I'm saying? Is this a new position that can be filled in, you know, by would-be advisors if I don't want to play a manager role? So I would like to know the distinguishing factors between the two.
Yeah, I mean, again, manager, it's a little different. Manager's Keith Conley, right? He's negotiating fights. He's out there actively getting you the fights. Advisor sounds like more of a plus job. Like, oh, Doomy found you a fight? Send over the term sheet. Let me look it over. Let me make sure everything's right. Then it's like, yo, tell Doomy, you know, we need 10% increase. We need to make sure we get 5 hotel rooms. Make sure they got the right soap in the. I don't know. I mean, you advising, right? Like, I don't know. It don't sound like a manager's role, but maybe you could Google boxing advisor and see if the internet has come up with some sort of title. It looks like we're gonna get bumped on this interview. That's crazy. I wonder if they like in the gym or something. Like, Lenny don't strike me. I know. I'm about to call him. He don't strike me as not a punctual person. Let me hit him up.
What the fuck is wrong
Mario is like MIA today, bro. What's going on with Dip Out City?
I know what's going on right now. There's a tsunami. No, there's a monsoon going through Mario Street right now, champ. It's all good though. But anywho, look, at the end of the day, I think that this is going to be pretty good for Ajagba. You know what I mean? It's not like he signed with anybody that's going to steer him the wrong way. The man, Jay Prince, has been around for a long time. You just said it, you know. And, you know, being an advisor can be that almost like, you know, big brother type of position where I know all the intricacies and the ins and the outs, the dark sides, the bright sides of the sport. So I'm you know, stick with me, kid. I'm going to walk you through this and make sure you get your fair shot each time. And I believe Efe Ajagba is going to get that with Jay Prince. And you know, Efe has been inactive now. You know, the last fight he had was with Kanjanu. I think I'm not murdering the name, but he his last fight was with Kojano, right? Am I saying it right?
Yeah, Rajvan Kujanu. Just spoke to Lenny. You know, you got to text old heads, man. I mean, call old heads. But yeah, he's still trying to figure out Skype, man. So we're gonna give him a few minutes to get that done. But yes, Efe's last fight was with Rajvan. No, his last fight was
Kojano.
Igo. No, it was with Igo Collides.
Well, they don't have it on BoxRec then.
What?
His last fight with that ever guy you saying this guy's Razvan Kojano.
Oh, okay. No, you're right. Igo was right before him.
Right before him, correct.
That's
and
the
then
dude that put him down.
Wasn't it Kajano who put him down?
Negative.
It was Ego killed Dazn.
I thought it was Igo, but yeah.
Collides. That's his last name.
Yeah.
Collides. So yeah, he got knocked down.
He collided with Efe's chin on that right hand, sat him down.
Hey, listen, he got back up.
Ajagba down in round 3. Collides down in round 2 and 5. Collides corner, which was Freddy Roach, threw the towel in round 5.
Did you? I mean, we were all kind of surprised. I mean, I was kind of surprised when he got knocked down.
Hell yeah! Especially when Michael Hunter beat the brakes off Igo. He beat the brakes off him.
So you know, you could sign it off as a night off. Maybe.
I mean,
maybe
he beat
was
the
too
brakes
lax.
off him though, like on PBC, just bad.
Michael, right? Is it Michael? Michael goes in for the kill. Like I see Efe more relaxed behind that power jab and that right hand. I think I think Efe's kryptonite is those rough and tough guys that are gonna disrupt his peaceful, you know, walking him down momentum that he usually, you know, displays against these fighters. I think he's gonna have trouble with guys like that start roughing it up, making a fight ugly, throwing real crazy shots. He's gonna have to be more careful, obviously, as he goes up in competition. But according to some, I don't know if Jay Prince was the one who said that, but like some people believe that he hits harder than Deontay Wilder. How do you feel about that?
I think Prince is smoking some good old fashioned Houston Kush.
Yo, I mean, but do you see him having that type of power though?
I don't know yet. I mean, I was blessed to be able to go to Efe's training camp. He's a real good dude. We hung out. I watched him train. I watched him, you know, do pad work. I watched him do strength and conditioning, which is important because you know he puts it in. When you get to see that strength and conditioning, that's when you know whether or not the fight is real. And you know he's got a good strength and conditioning coach that pushes him. They do a lot of stuff, but you know, I don't believe he got the power of Wilder. He ain't even build the confidence of Wilder. Like to have that power, you have to believe in yourself, and that's why Wilder kills people. He goes for the kill. Like Efe, like you said, he's still putting it together. He's still learning. It's just different. I can't think that. I mean, he's not showing it. He's not showing the power of Wilder. You know, he's not showing the power of Wilder. He already got 2 fights that didn't end in knockout. So, you know, obviously one is not his fault. It was a disqualification in Curtis Harper, so that is affected on your record. But the former Olympian Ali, Demizern or whatever, Demizerian, he took him the distance. You know what I mean? So. And again, maybe the power is there and he just hasn't learned to put it together, and that's why it's not translating into knockouts. But I think that James Prince did that purposely. You know, how else do you get us talking about a heavyweight that hasn't been as exciting as Wilder? Claim that he has more power. That's just it. You know what I mean? Like, the truth is, Efe ain't been doing what Wilder been doing. Wilder, when he was coming up, fighting this type of people, he was putting them out to sleep. So,
yeah, he's 13-0, still fairly new. I mean, is he a long way from a title contention?
Nah,
I mean, guys like this get moved pretty fast, you know.
They get moved fast, but he's still like Listen,
years.
this is what's so good about Efe. If you want to start comparing, it's all the other explosiveness of him. Like everything you see.
85-inch reach. He's
huge. These
attributes
are nuts. He is catching up to his ceiling. So, can you throw him in that category where, he doesn't have one knockout that he should have? And can you say that he was, in very, very tough in his last fight, or it wasn't his last fight? It was his, I think it was the fight before last with Iago. Yeah, I think so. That was the fight before last. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that, there are these things that we've seen that, might call kinks in the armor or whatever you want to say, but ultimately he looks the part. He looks the part, and
we were more comparing it directly to James Prince's word, like calling true or false on it. Like he's saying he hits harder than Ajagba. That was Doomy's question. Like, yo, James Prince said it. Wilder. Yeah, he hits harder than Wilder. He's like, yo, James Prince say he hits harder than Wilder. Do you believe that? And I do not. He hasn't proven that, and his record, the fights, the way they're ending, are not showing the power. While Wilder does it in dramatic fashion. Ajagba's getting the job done.
Even if that's here's the thing though, whether it's true or not, which here's the thing, that something like that can be true at some point.
I mean, that's cool. No. I chose to answer it. You could choose to dance around it. I said no. I don't know what you were saying.
Perfect. So what I'm gonna say is, regardless of what you want to say, you're talking about the hardest punch in the history of boxing. Like nobody says, "Oh, that guy's pretty good," but he ain't Michael Jordan. Like,
let me just give you the quote.
Like, come on, you got to be real about it.
Let me just give you the quote, Mario, so that I'm not misconstrued. Says, quote, "Welcome to the J Prince boxing family, Efe Ajagba." Prince revealed on his verified Instagram account, the real Nigerian king. He hits harder than former heavyweight titleist Deontay Wilder. And hashtag J Prince.
Yeah, the former was editor's brackets. He just put,
exactly.
Editor's brackets.
Yeah, he just put hits harder than Wilder, which to me is clickbait. It's like, yo, let's get the argument going. You know what I mean? Let's get his name out there comparing him to Wilder. But
it's what you do as a promoter or manager. Yeah. That's day one stuff.
No, I mean, you gotta
keep it in the mind.
You could be doing the right job as a promoter or the right job as a manager for your fighter and still be lying, though.
Well, I think that they go hand in hand a lot of times. I think you gotta lie when you're with your fighter, your promoter, and say that they're this, they're that. They built them up. The only point I'm making is with Efe is even if that tall glass of water that is Deontay Wilder punching power doesn't measure up, if he falls anywhere near it, he's still one of the hardest punchers in the history of boxing, because you're talking about the hardest one-punch fighter in the history of boxing. So all I'm saying is it's a very big measure. Do I believe he's there yet? Probably not. This is probably hyperbole. But all I'm saying is that with the attributes that this kid has at 13-0, could he be better than Wilder? Sure. Could he be better than Joshua? Sure. I think he could. He could be better than Fury at this point. Who knows?
I'm sorry, yo. You were saying those pauses like, could he be better than Wilder?
So sorry.
And I'm just like, okay, that he's ending it. Then there was another question.
So
I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was doing it for dramatic effect.
No, it worked. Yeah, he's got his James Prince save a James Prince cape on.
He's bad.
No, because look, man. I mean, mob ties or not, we could call bullshit. Like, bro, you can't say your dog.
Nobody said mob ties.
We can't say it. We can't lie for you and say, yeah, Efe hits as hard as Wilder. Like, that's nonsense.
No, that's okay.
But I'm interested. I'm interested in seeing where this goes. That's what the real conversation is. Wilder is so polarizing that he keeps stealing the show. It continuously happens. If it isn't a commenter in the chat, it's James Prince and his comments about a newly signed.
He set the bar, though. You got to give him that. He set the bar as an American heavyweight. Like, of course they're going to use him as the measuring stick. I mean, if you are trying to be the best heavyweight in America, then you got to know where that bar mark is. You know what I'm saying? You got to know where that last guy, who's got the record, so to speak.
The
right?
bar.
Where's that bar at? Well, it's Deontay Wilder. So every time I point to I want to be the best, I'm going to point to Deontay Wilder because he represents the best American heavyweight. But what Efe Ajagba represents is potentially the next best heavyweight out there.
I mean, again, man, again,
Super chat. Jarrett Lloyd. Good morning to you, bud. Efe needs to knock out more pedestrians before he steps up in competition. If they move him too fast, he'll become a bum lord with multiple losses.
And I agree. Listen, Igo Collides did not look as good as he looked with Michael Hunter. Now, I know A versus B plus C, MC squared. I get it.
Sure.
I get it. It's not fair to do. You know, it's different styles. Styles make fights. Collides could have had a better training camp, a bad one, a short one. Plenty of excuses. But watching Michael Hunter do what he did, then knowing that Efe was next years later and going into the fight with expectation, I was let down and disappointed with Efe's performance. He got put down. Did I like it? Because it's like, he suffered adversity, came back and got the knockout. Yeah. But because of what I seen Michael Hunter do and my expectation of Efe, I went to see Efe when he was 5-0. Before people were talking this Ajagba and all that Nigerian king, man, I've been in that Plex gym with him, and I'm just saying, I'm with Jarrett. We need to get him the right fights. We need to get him the right fights and let him not develop, but grow into himself. He needs that confidence of a heavyweight. Look at Michael Hunter. We won't use names we won't speak of since people think that this is a one-track minded location. Hunter is a beautiful example of an aggressive heavyweight that's come into his own. Specifically Hunter, because he was a cruiserweight. So he needed to gain that heavyweight confidence. And now he thinks he can beat any heavyweight. He felt he was let go because he's too good for the matchroom heavyweights, or rather, threat was the word he used. Right? So I'm just saying, man, Jared may have a point. Give him the right fights. So far, I'm sorry, I know I'm long-winded. I just want to mention his record. It's a decent one. He has Amir Mansour on there. He's got Nick Jones. Curtis Harper's on there. You also got Rodney Hernandez on there. That was good. Rodney Hernandez, he fought him when he was 3-0. So that, he's been moving. Yes, he's been at 13-0. He's
young.
To have 13-0, but to have Rodney, Harper, Nick Jones, Amir Mansour, the undefeated Olympian, which we didn't know, and I get it, but the dude was at least an Olympian, so we'll mention it. Igo Collides, who's trained by Freddie Roach, common opponent with Michael Hunter, and then Rajvan Kavanu, common opponent with many, but most recently Daniel Dubois. So at 13-0, he has more names on his record than Daniel Dubois, more names on his record than this other guy who's going to fight Daniel Dubois eventually in October.
Joe Joyce?
Exactly. Joe Joyce holds a better win with a former world champion in the name of Bermain Stavern, but as a totality, Ajagba's resume is better in my opinion, but we just got to go slow. There's no rush. Look, you want to rush him this year to a title shot? Who's he going to beat? Fury, AJ, who? Because until the belt changes,
he ain't even getting those fights.
But who's his step up? He's at 13-0 right now, and he's fought the guys you've named, which are decent. But like, so where does he? Who's his level up without putting him out there too much?
He's ranked 23 in the world. Let's go ahead and screen share. And
go to theboxingvoice.com if you want those rankings. Easy access.
I'm going.
Good plug, my man. On top of it.
I wasn't going to TBV because I wanted to do, box rec ranking. Like, he's 23 in the world.
What?
Yeah, but that's
I was
why.
waiting for it.
That's why, because he's 23 in the world. So we need to see the 22 people ahead of him and who looks nice.
So real quick, let me ask: was Kajanu the one from the Boxino tournament, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. That's
Yes. Okay.
exactly
Good.
who he is.
I was
So
because the first name threw me a little bit.
So look at that. Andy Ruiz has dropped 1 point, and that's good because he ain't been fighting. Dillian White moves up 1 without fighting, which is cray. But you see Ajagba at 23, so good fights for Ajagba. Dominic Brazil would be a really big step up. He's been in with 2 former world champions, common opponent in Amir Mansour. He beat Carlos Negron. This all off the top, too. That's a great opponent, but it might be too much too soon.
Mm-hmm. Does he clear into the top 15 straight up?
I would go backwards. Nah, it looks like he can't break the top 15 just yet. I'm afraid of every fight. Maybe Adam, but Adam proved even in the tough fight with Areola and Helenius.
Adam's outside the top 15.
You know what's crazy?
Adam's in the 17 though, and Jag was 23, so that would still be a step up.
Crazy.
Oh no, definitely.
Crazy as it is, Efe is ranked 14 in the WBC. He's ranked 12 in the WBA. And where else is he ranked? Nah, just in those 2 sanctioning bodies. So he has a positioning in the top 15.
14 in the, so strategically, if you want to get closer, but again, if I'm Prince and Shelly, I don't want him anywhere near the top of the WBC. I just don't. I'm not ready.
I agree.
I'm not
100%.
ready for that, man. Yo, I'll get Emmanuel Charr. You wanna give ranking, get Emmanuel Charr. He ain't fought in like 3 years. You know what I'm saying? He lost to Vlad.
Look, the problem is like, okay, Efe has gotten a lot of boosts throughout his career, right? Probably none bigger than the Curtis Harper incident. Everybody was talking about that. That was on every single
viral.
Listen, I'm talking Fox Sports. I'm talking ESPN. I'm talking Univision. I'm talking Telemundo. I'm talking all of them. Everybody had that clip, bro. But the problem was that I don't know if Efe got as much out of it as Curtis Harper got negative impact. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it impacted Curtis Harper negatively more than it impacted Efe positively more. Definitely people caught his name, but I don't know how many people remember.
Dog, we followed that. Efe literally had almost 3,000 followers, and with that overnight gained 10
No, but I'm not saying
10 stacks? That's what it was?
Listen, I'm not saying that he didn't gain from it. He, of course, gained from it. I'm only saying that more people remember, I think, Curtis Harper's name from it. Casuals, commercial fans, the people that had no idea that fight was even going on before it went on.
Hard to say that they remember the guy.
But it's hard to say, you're right.
It's hard to say they remember the guy who walked out the ring more than the guy that made him walk out the ring.
I don't know. I'm gonna remember the guy who walked.
And now Efe,
the guy that walked out the ring.
And now Efe's at 37,000 and hasn't been in the fights or in the media as much as Sergey Derevchenko, who only has 31,000.
Bro, that was that moment. Pointed out. Real quick, super chat. My man Teddy B Midwest Sports Talk says Joyce has a better resume. Jennings, Stavern, Moore.
I just said that. People make it hard to listen. I said Joyce got a better resume because he got a bigger win with the former world champion Stavern. But as a totality, Efe's is better. Or what Joyce got? Bermain and Jennings. 1 former world champ and 1 title challenger. And that's what I'm saying. Totality at 13-0, Jagba's been in with more names. He's been in with more names. Victory. I mean, that's my opinion. I mean, I could be wrong, right? Whatever. Damn, I'm trying to give Lenny more time. Let me hit him up, man, see if he got this Skype. I don't want to do phone no more. I'm bougie.
Oh, you want that clarity. That sound snob comes out every time. Now, look, 13-0. He's ranked already, Mario. So you know that he's already on their heels on those 2 sanctioning bodies. Number 14 in the WBC, and he's in there as 12 in the WBA. So, he's in there. He's positioned in the right place in those 2 sanctioning bodies. And what's your opinion on the strategy, on the strategic, of them having their fighter, having Efe Ajagba in those sanctioning bodies as to having them in the IBF or the WBO.
Yeah, listen, I mean, I don't know. I think it's too early for any of that talk. I think this kid is on a really good trajectory. I think that it's like easy to want to move him up because of how special he seems, because of, you know, the man, what's the word I'm looking for? But like you know, it's gonna go down on his record. Like that's always gonna be a highlight reel. Like when he makes it to you know, what's on his highlight reel, you know, other than knockouts, going to be somebody walking out of the ring. So I think that he's been propelled further than he actually should be thought of. You know what I mean? I think right now he's a 13-0 fighter, but he's a little better than a 13-0 fighter. How much better?
When do you decide to fast track a fighter though? Like, you know, he's with Jay Prince now. You know, only good things coming. Like when I hear all that stuff, I don't get a picture in my head of him fighting, you know, C-class fighters. You know what I'm saying? Or so when I ask Ness, what's the next step?
It depends where he goes, man. I mean, you never know. He could get IBEF off a loss if he goes to top rank. We just don't know.
Yo, what's your problem against IBEF, champ?
I'm saying
he's trying to feed everybody.
I'm saying if he goes to top rank, you never know. He might get that. We don't know where he could end up. On Dazn, even though we ain't really seen James Prince fighters on Dazn, but like Efe could go that way. We don't know. We just gotta wait, man. We gotta wait.
I think Ness is trying to soften IBEF up before Border Wars. That's why he keeps putting all these James in front of him. He got Guido this. When's the fight? Thursday.
He said Teddy B Midwest Sports Talk says Ustinov, Joe Hanks, Igo Kalides, Brian Jennings, Stavern, and Lenroy Thompson. Let me double check. If that's true, then you're right, champ. I mean, I was trying to come off the top. You went the box rate.
Oh,
You cheated.
he was off the dome piece.
You cheated. I ain't go to box rate. So Brian Jennings, Alexander Ustinov, Bermain Stavern, Joe Hanks, Igo. Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, nah, he got some good ones in there, champ.
Yeah. I mean, no, he got better ones. He a
10-0 fighter.
And he a 10-0 fighter. Yeah, okay. So I misspoke. He definitely shouldn't have put Joe Joyce's name in there. But that goes to show. That goes to show. You know, he's right behind Joe Joyce on time in terms of, you know, decent heavyweight contender prospect resumes. You know, obviously. Joe Joyce proved that he's a contender
I'm big on Joe Joyce, man. And Joe Joyce at 10 fights is hell of a lot more ready, in my opinion, than your man Efe. I don't think I've seen Joe Joyce hit the deck. Has Joe Joyce hit the deck?
But listen, it's regardless. Remember, I'm not saying Ajagba's the next coming. I'm the one saying slow down. Remember that? I'm the one saying if he 14 in the WBC, why they don't need to rush? He don't need none of the top 5 or 6 or even 7. Like he don't need none of that. Look, I'm gonna just say 7 on the WBC.
I'm saying though, like, but you got my man, like guys like Daniel Dubois getting pushed fast. You got guys like Joe Joyce 10 fight getting pushed fast.
Dubois.
So what's going? So why are we not with the same energy? You know, why is Efe different? Is it because of that drop? Is that what you got in the back of your head?
Yes, and his own team. Remember, they wanted to do when we had interview Ronnie, he's saying 2 years for a title shot. So
2 years.
Yeah, they're not ready, and that's okay. Ain't nothing wrong with not being ready. There's nothing wrong with development and making sure your fighter's right.
So he's 6 fights away from a title fight.
I mean, 6. That's not. Listen, he's not on the.
It's hard to say that.
No,
like,
but he's not on the A level,
number.
Mario. He's not on the A level. He could have 6 fights in 1 year. You know, he's not on the A level.
Exactly.
He don't got to fight 2 times.
That's a great point. You're absolutely right. And it's like, what does he get more out of? Like stepping up big time, you know, against a fighter that we all deem a worthy step up. And I'm talking like way above, you know what I mean? I'm talking like top 8, right? Like, does he get more out of that, or does he get more out of fighting 6 fighters, you know, with these slight step ups, you know, very gradually? That's the way you build a fighter. And like, that's what we're going to see. If anybody else thinks different, then you've never seen, you know, a commodity for like a James Prince or an Al Heyman or a Richard Schaefer or whoever. You know what I mean? Once you're a commodity to these guys, they're gonna treat you with, some people call it kid gloves. I say, carefully, right? Like when you got a bunch of money, you got to get armored cars to bring it. You get the jewels in the briefcase. You got to get the handcuffs and all that. That's what's going on right now. He's a commodity, bro. They gonna get the briefcase around him, armed guards, and send him into every single fight prepared to take that next step. And that's really all we can expect. In 2 years' time, I think he'll be there. I think he'll be ready. How many fights is it going to take? That's a much different question to me.
So is ESPN gone now, Ness? Like, where is this guy going to be fighting on?
I mean, we don't know. ESPN became an option now that he's with
yeah, he was on Fox before.
He was on Fox and with PBC, but now that he's with Prince, ESPN all of a sudden became an option. For all we know, Prince could be like, yo, give me whatever percent. I could get you a deal with Top Rank where it's going to be guaranteed money. I'll get you a bonus. I'll get you a signing bonus. I'll get you guaranteed minimum purse. I'll get you a 3-year deal. I mean, look, you just never know what Prince can offer him.
So right now, we can expect him to be out there. I mean, ESPN push, Top Rank push.
Well, not push. We don't know yet. We don't know yet. We don't know
Still
what's
in the
going to
air.
happen. We don't know what's going to happen, where it's going to go. It's like I said, Shelly, Finkel, and his answers, they wasn't looking real good to me.
All right. Well, I guess we'll just be floating in the air until we hear from the horse's mouth. Speculation.
We got Jeff Mayweather today, so this is not going to be a short one. We ain't getting him to another hour and a half.
Oh, we got to come back for that one.
Oh, I mean, it's on y'all.
I think we should just have another.
We could. We could definitely do that. I was thinking of Oscar Valdez saying something. I think I put it in there. It's pretty good.
Oscar Valdez talking his smack, or he just saying something out there.
Yeah.
What he was saying
out there.
But I think the other argument for our UK fans is that what Doomy said, they definitely believe more in Dubois than in Ajagba right now.
Oh yeah, I mean rightfully so. But that's the thing though. It's not like, so everybody tries to make it like a competition. Like, bro, talk to me when they're at their peaks. Talk to me when they're the best version of themselves. Then we can say, because right now it's only speculation. It'll only ever be speculation. Plus, I mean, I agree that Daniel Dubois is further and Daniel Dubois is better right now. I just don't know if that's going to be the case in a few years. That's all I'm trying to say.
I'm still trying to get him an opponent. You guys said he can't crack into the 15 yet. It's too fast. And I'm trying to find him somebody where I'm gonna be like, oh, he just signed
Charles
with
Martin's
Prince.
At 15.
Yeah, like
I think
you think
Charles Martin?
You think he could take him out?
Nah,
Charles been back looking good.
Yeah, he did.
Charles is back looking pretty focused. I would stay away from those
he's like
fights,
in his
man.
mid-30s.
I'm staying away from them. I would go for Stavern. I would go for Stavern. I would go backwards. I would go like ranking wise, box rec wise. I would go backwards. I wouldn't be going forwards right now. I would go the Brian Jennings route, the Carlos Takam route. Jerry Forrest, Tom Schwartz.
Tom Schwartz.
David Allen. I'm going backwards.
Damn, David Allen?
I'm going backwards.
David Allen would be a
David Price.
You get the UK involved.
David Price, David Allen, get those guys in there. But I'm going backwards, bro. I'm going backwards. I'm not. I could be wrong. Maybe that was just a flash knockdown. I don't know.
Yeah, that happens.
Look, if he was on some heat seeking, I would put him in with like a Martin Bacoli, because Bacoli lost to Hunter. But again, last time he faced a common opponent with Hunter, he ain't look as good as Hunter. So why put that pressure on him? But, man, let's open up the phone lines. You know the number, call in. 1-425-569-5241. Press 1 time. Voice your opinion right here on the Voice of the People hotline. Don't forget you can add Nestor Gibbs on Skype to be part of the conversation. Yeah, let's go out to the sponsors real quick and get this thing started.
Subscribe to youtube.com/theboxingvoice for the latest and greatest interviews with your favorite fighters.
Remember to rate us 5 stars on iTunes.
These calls are brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
All right. We going out to who up first here on the list? Trey in the Bay. I know you in the Bay, so you just listening? It's early. 7:03 that way. There you go.
Let's give my boomerang a stumble.
All right. J Matt, you listening?
The Mac Attack.
Get over here!
I think that's a not. I just listen. All right.
You know how these bitches is in the sport. Total disrespect. Kid has no class, no style at all.
I'm a gorilla, I'm a dog. I'm a dog, I'm a gorilla.
The smartest thing you can do is to stay away from parents.
It can't be the boogeyman if I'm chasing him.
You want to bet? You bet 100,000 on that.
Let's bet $1 million.
Easy. Let's bet $1 million.
Yo, can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Loud and clear, champ.
If I cut out, just come back to me. Cause I may lose it. My opinion on it, I think it's good. I think Jay Prince see the future in Efe. I'm a big fan of Efe actually. As far as the power, I won't say he has Deontay Wilder power. I definitely know he don't have the confidence.
You're cutting up.
Pointed out, that's about the confidence of Deontay. That's what makes him. Can y'all hear me? Can you? Yo.
You cut up the last like 4 seconds.
Yeah, but we got you now.
All right. I think a good Deontay Wilder. That's what makes him so special is his power. And Efe might not have the time and experience yet to display that confidence, but I think in due time he will be just as effective. I know damn sure he ain't harder than AJ. That's my first call.
All right. We got his bro, JT. You rocking out?
Cheap.
So interesting that you come across like a nice guy, but you're really a piece of shit. Hey, with that comment. Come on. No, that was a piece of fuck you. That was a piece of shit. You know, we're doing live TV. Man, I don't care. What you gonna do about it?
I'll kill this mother. Why do you have to talk like that?
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you. You have a problem, turn off your station. I'm the best ever.
Yeah, good morning. Y'all can hear me?
Morning, champ.
What up?
Yeah, I don't want to say I think y'all underestimating Efe Ajagba. He's got a lot of potential in the sport. And if we really go on the top of the skill, there ain't too many skillful hot heavyweights out there. So sometimes power like Wilder is an equalizer. And I think he might not have as much power or explosive than Wilder, but he has a hard punch. Put it like this, if him and Wilder was fighting and Wilder kept his hands down in front of him, I think Efe can knock him out. And I definitely know Wilder can knock Efe Ajagba out. Now that knockdown that I seen when he got in that fight, I think it was like like one of them check knockdowns, like he was all balanced and stuff like that, kind of messing around with the guy because the guy was wobbling in front of him, and I think he learned from it. He came back and knocked the dude out, but he got a lot of potential, especially if Jay Prince looking at him and stuff like that. So I think I will put him over Dubois and Joe Joyce to beat them two if they ever fought.
Cut it.
Yeah, man.
Majid, Orlando.
What up?
Everybody need to like the video, subscribe to the channel, press that bell next to it, and join Patreon even for $3 a month. Hey man, I don't care about just power, and I feel like Efe, he fool, once he start going up there, he don't need no hype. He need to be fighting on these top ranked Tuesday and Thursday night things and getting as much experience, some resistance band for speed. I feel like all the upcoming fighters, I'm not even sure if he could beat a David Allen if he catch him, so I'm like Efe, Prince can't fight for him, but he could get him that money, so good luck on the bag, but ain't no way he even beating a Daniel Dubois or Joe Joyce, nothing. That dude slug speed. But that's all I got, man.
Yo, why the pig is for everything, dog?
Bro, because
King
Betty,
Born
when
gonna
Betty
get you,
squeals, something died or somebody got really hit up, and it looked like Efe got hit up on that one, but my boy, but
King Born gonna show up at your house. We going to Sony to commission.
What's good, TPV? Good morning.
What
Good
up?
morning, champ.
Sony, you got a counterpunch too, man. I didn't see that till after we left yesterday.
Yeah. I'll save that for later in the show. You can just come back to me at the end. But yo, as far as with FA, what concerns me is I think most of these young fighters coming up, if they lose a fight, I think people are quick to throw them away. And I like the trio of FA, Dubois, and Joe Joyce. I like that three because they're going to add on to the three we already got. So just if they take a loss, I do not want people to throw them away. I like it. I think they are going to bring back that 90s era style of heavyweight boxing, and I'm just here to enjoy it. Peace and love.
I like that. They bringing it back. There's gonna be a lot of heavyweights up there, top 10, that are gonna be real problems. So yeah, it's exciting, man. Good point, Sonny.
Stone Bone Boxing, what up? Boomerang as well, so we'll just let that roll out for you.
Good morning, man. Good morning. How y'all doing, man?
Bless, man. Happy to be here.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I see Ness. Yesterday you stuck your head in the mosque for a second, man. I saw you, Ness, man. Came to church with me for a little bit yesterday.
Sure did.
Yeah, man. But you see, it's a little different church right there, man. That's how we do it at my church, man. That's a spiritual and Buddha. You know what I mean? A little bit of both. Look, FA, I like FA. How can you call FA slow, but then speak of Joe Joyce? That's like the tortoise versus the hare. And FA ain't the tortoise. You know what I mean? We seen Joe Joyce, man. That dude is he's like slow motion. You know the slow motion camera effect? That's Joe Joyce. You know what I mean? When you're a kid running and you slow it down when he get ready to jump in the pool, that's Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce is so slow. I think FA, he's in Texas already, Houston. So, like Al Heyman is respected in boxing, Jay Prince is respected in life. And a lot of people they love Al Heyman, they respect him, but they don't never see him. They can't talk to him, they can't reach out to him. That make you feel less sometimes that you think you're a decent fighter and you can barely talk to Sylvia. You don't got Al number. You can't even talk to Sam. So some of them guys are starting to be like, man, look, I need a little bit more than just occasional TV shot, man. I need some support. I need to stand beside one of the most respected man in America. And that's what Jay Prince will give you. So he building up a roster, you know what I mean? He got some young heavyweights. FA is like a middle heavyweight, you know what I mean? And then you got the established heavyweights. So maybe FA might get a Fury shot or something like that. But did he leave? I missed a little bit of the show. Did he leave PBC or did he just sign with Jay Prince? I heard he signed, but I didn't hear he left ESPN. Left PBC.
Yeah, we have some things that are in the air still, Stone. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Super chat from Jared Lloyd that says, was that Jay McDonald with his Obama phone? Tell your mans he need to step up his phone game like Crawford need to step up his competition. Efe should do a 6-fight pedestrian tour to build his brand.
Yeah, six fight top 50.
6-fight pedestrian tour. Yo, that's not a bad idea. Look, if he go to Top Rank, you know he getting some pedestrians.
Yeah, he just might get I bet then.
And Hector.
And Hector. Right about now.
And who Hector beat? Hector beat somebody too. Listen, they could give him I bet. They could give him Hector. They could give him Victor Bisbal. And then they could top it cherry on top with Jerry Forrest. That's preparation.
Listen, man, as long as he ain't fighting those guys when he's 25-0,
exactly,
30-0, then I'm good. So yeah, those are great names, right? Like, and that's the other thing too is it. I hope that this hasn't permanently affected the way that we view fights. You know what I mean? Because a lot of these fights we're given passes only because of the current climate. But those names you mentioned, like, I'm good with all of them. Would I have been good with them, in January? I don't know, but I'm good with them now.
Pandemic boys.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I am good with them now.
Anybody right now that's like a journeyman, that's a regular guy, y'all better be training right now. Because y'all could get that call at any second, bro.
Any sec.
Get that training going, punch the couch, do whatever the hell you got to do.
Punch the couch down.
Stay in shape. No,
Rocky
because you can't go nowhere.
Rocky style. Tie the mattress around the pole in your basement. Let me get to these callers, man. I got...
Damn, not only is he about to make his rap debut, he's making his beatbox debut.
Yeah, we got Info Joe in the building.
Chee.
Mr. Info Joe.
This portion of the show we call In the
Mr.
Know,
Info Joe.
presented by my brother.
Damn. Hold on, Joe. I just seen Lenny. Lenny, you joined the wrong Skype, man. Damn, you over there. Can you obviously learned how to do it. Can you just click that link I sent you in your text so you can be over here? I got you muted, champ. You just click that other link or send me your email that you created that with so I can put you on the live right here, all right? You got to unmute yourself. Right on your screen is a little, white. There you go.
All right, you hear me?
I hear you.
I put a telephone number in. I didn't put an email in.
Did you put your phone number?
Yeah.
All right, let me look for you. You can hang up over here. I'm gonna connect you over here. All right, brother?
Hang up?
Yes.
Oh, you didn't this shit.
Yo, chill, Lenny, chill. We coming through on the pedestrian Skype.
Once he up though.
Yo, yeah. He got it together though. That's what we need. Now where is he so I can remove him, or did he remove himself? Oh man, jeez Louise. Yo, get over I need a what's the name, bro? I need a assistant right here. Let me see, could I find him here? All right, let's check this out.
It's like thousands of numbers. And Lenny does train damn, freaking mind went blank. Sorry.
Okay, we got him. Let me see. Can I copy this? Copy. Yes.
Copy.
Bam.
Breaker, 1, 2.
Where you at, champ? Where you at?
I'm here.
Oh. Where you at? Let me see. Is he here?
Can you see me?
Hold on. Oh, I do see you. There you go. Yo, you got this no problem, man.
All this daggone Skyping him.
Yo, you into the future though, Lenny. You into the future.
What's that other thing? Zoom?
Yeah,
that Zoom was real big
corny,
during this pandemic.
Yeah, but it's corny. It don't sound like this. And look, right now you connected to our live YouTube, so there's at least 253 people watching. Plus, it's on our YouTube channel. They got over 114,000. We need like 25 more people to get us to 115,000. But Lenny, good morning. Thank you for coming on the show, man. Appreciate you taking out the time. Now, look, I know that you are the head trainer for Richardson Hitchens. But are you the head trainer for anyone else? I know you've worked with dozens. I've seen with you with Ali, with Belanga, with Comey. I mean, on and on. Even Shushu. But who are you head trainer for?
I'm head trainer right now for Richardson Hitchens, and then we got some new guys that came to the gym. You got Kurt from a kid named Kurt Scooby from California, and then I'm working with Johnny Beck. He's a former a Golden Glove champion. So I got a couple of guys, that I'm working with, but the main person is Richardson Hitchens.
And Richardson, you've brought him up the amateurs. Like I've seen, you with him in the Golden Gloves, or what was it? Is it Golden Gloves or the Daily News, New York Sun? I know you guys been in a bunch of
Daily
tournaments.
News, Golden Gloves.
Okay.
Hey Lenny, let me quickly ask you: were you with him in the amateurs when he fought Virgil Ortiz?
I probably was. What year was that?
Oh man, I'm gonna have to look back. I ain't got the encyclopedia.
I don't even remember all those guys' names.
I hear you though. I know how it is in the amateurs. It's fight every day, every week.
But 9 out of 10 times I was, because I took him to the gloves twice, and we won the gloves twice. So I'm sure I probably was.
And you also were, I don't know, I mean, would you call it second assistant, but for the Comey title win?
Yeah.
For the Ali title win?
Right.
Saddam Ali, because you work closely with Andre Rozier.
Right. So it's me and Rozier. We worked with Saddam Ali. I touched up Danny a little bit, Danny Jacobs, Comey, all of them, all those guys, even when they was young amateurs like Curtis Stevens, Louis Collazo, all those guys, all those guys.
Funny thing for me was seeing you work with all those guys that are mainly like Rozier camp, but then I started to see you in the Sosa gym with Richardson and helping Sosa too. So because you work with Shushu, right?
One day Sosa saw me working with Danny Jacobs and Starlight, and he just started coming to me, yo, you need to come over here, and train some of these young guys.
Wait a minute. Let me find out when he saw you with Daniel Jacobs was one of those days Jacobs was sparring Nikita Abba Ali.
Was he sparring Nikita? No, I don't think he was. Was he sparring? He might have been sparring.
I witnessed them sparring him once, but in the Queens gym, I think it was Galazza's old gym out there in Queens with the bald-headed dude.
I think Legends, maybe.
Might be.
Legends,
he's a heavy set Hispanic, kind of low haircut, owns the gym.
Yes. But like as a trainer, like for me, I was always confident in my ability. So I never like really pushed. I want to be the head coach. Because me and Dre, we all came up together. And so, I just was that type of guy. Where I wasn't like trying to be that man, but I was behind the scenes and I was helping getting these guys ready, So, I mean, I wasn't like what they call a media hogger or, but now it's not, and I'm not that guy now,
But you gotta be though. You gotta take your attention. If you look, we got Jeff Mayweather scheduled for an hour from now, and if you just look, like the trainer has evolved. The trainer has become, a personality, and their own thing. But I want to talk to you obviously about Richardson Hitchens, and I'm hoping that you keep your ear to the street, and I feel that you do. And I'm gonna tell a story that maybe the listeners already know that I told, just to show your character, right, and the type of trainer that you are. Your morals, right? So I had reposted a Belanga post one day, and you didn't like it. The details of it don't matter. You didn't like it, and you didn't like it for the way that it looked for one of the fighters that you work with. So you asked me to take it down. You asked Belanga to take it down. I say all that so that my listeners understand how you are. And now I ask you, what did you think of that sparring with Javante and Redcatch? Because your fighter was there. And were you there? And kind of what's the rules that you give Hitchens? Do you let him spar free? Because that looked like that. Anyway, let me hear. What was your thoughts over that sparring?
Over that sparring with Javante and Redcap. I mean,
you smiling over there, Lenny. You smiling.
I mean, Javante did what he did, He did what he did. I wasn't there for the whole sparring, but from what I saw, that you just saw that attitude. You saw an attitude in Gervonta, that represents a killer in the ring. And you have to have an attitude. You just can't go in there nonchalant. And like I tell Richardson, it's funny that you asked me that question, that when you practice, you got to practice like a champion. So that when you get on the big stage, you're not pressured.
Yeah, you firing all the way.
I need you to elaborate, because practice like a champion could have our listeners believe that you allow your fighter to go full force in sparring. Is that what we?
Well, not necessarily go full force in sparring, but to do the necessary, just to do the necessary things that when he get on that championship level, you dig what I'm saying? That he'll be prepared. Like Andre Ward once said. I'm gonna give you an example. Andre Ward said that when he spar, he want to win every sparring. That's the attitude.
Yo, that's me. Yeah, I like that attitude.
That you're not trying to kill a guy, but you also not like trying to, like, you gotta, if I see a guy get clipped and sparring, then I'm stopping it. Okay, hold up, back up, get it together, come back later. You understand? Mm-hmm. So that's the attitude that I want Richardson to have, because when you get on that level.
That's what I wanted to hear, though, because I felt like, why Jack, I even had Buddy on Friday, I think, like, Buddy, why you ain't stopped that? Like, that's your gym. Like, you wouldn't have stopped. I thought, like you said, if you get hit with a shot, I'm going to stop it, make sure you are. Like, I've been in multiple gyms. You don't think it was time to stop it the way he was beating on Red Catch?
I think, like, what Gervonta did was Gervonta stopped it himself. Once he saw that he had enough, he got out of the ring. You seen that. He turned his back, he walked out. That's it for you. You understand?
Because on the other side, you run the risk of stopping Red Catch and making him look bad, right? Like, you protecting him, and that could hurt his self-esteem and confidence too.
Exactly. And especially if you're preparing for a fight.
I didn't look at it like that.
I didn't like it, Coach. It looked a little dirty, man. If I was Red Cat's trainer, he would hit him behind the head shot. No, that's like, you not teaching my fighter nothing. You beating on him.
Right. So then that's the coach's thing. That's what I said. Coach stopped it once he seen him on Quaid Street. He should have jumped in the ring and said, okay, that's enough.
Put him on Quaid Street.
So, Coach, what's your rule? Because your fighter travels around the world. He gets work with he'll spar with Crawford, he'll spar with Shakur, he'll spar with Haney, he'll spar with Gervonta, he spar with Bron. Your fighter gets world-class sparring, and I'm assuming you not always there because he flies around the world.
And I think this is the thing with me. But I'm a trainer. I'm a coach. I'm confident in my ability, and I'm confident with my fighting. So I know that all coaches don't know everything in boxing. That's why I always tell Africa, I says, you have to start studying it, going back into the old school to the new school. So when he goes and he spars, he's learning. You understand? I'm not thinking that, and he can take care of himself. I found that out early on in his career, the way I moved him. When he sparred with heavy shooters, I didn't just throw him in the ring. I had to see what level he was on before he got in the ring. And the thing that hitches is that he's hungry. He's hungry. So when he's with Gervonta, with Adrian and all those guys, they're not going to let him get hurt. You understand what I'm saying? They're not. But I also know that he's learning. And I see it when he comes back. Now, when he starts getting ready, say, we prepared for a fight and we have to travel, I'm going. I'm going to be there. You understand what I'm saying? I'm going to be there because I'm going to make sure that no other trainer is allowing him to get hurt and that he's taking care of. So I really don't have a problem with that too much. Quiet is kept. Quiet is kept. Guys like Curtis, Danny Jacobs, those guys were doing that too. That's how Shakur got better. That's Shakur. You think his grandfather was with him every sparring session that he went when he traveled in his body? He wasn't. You understand what I'm saying? So that's part of them growing up, getting them different looks, traveling to Philly and different places like that, and it helps him become a better fighter. Now, if he come back and he looking cockeyed, then he ain't going no more. Because that's telling me something else. he be getting hit with heavy shots.
Now I'm hogging you here, but there's plenty of time for my co-host, right? So I do have to ask, what do you think of Hitchens hanging with Tank and Broner? Some like to say those might not be the best influences. You, on the other hand, are saying that he's gaining at least boxing knowledge and skill from being with them.
Right. Now, the thing is this, I speak with him. Richardson Hitchens is like my son. If he talked to me, he called me Pop, right? So I talked to him about those and not getting involved in the nonsense. He's growing right now. We talked on the phone, surprisingly, a couple of days. Actually, like right now, he's calling me every day. He called me every day. And he's sharing his knowledge about being with them and hanging out and seeing what they're doing and what he's not going to do. You understand what I'm saying? And so if they live in off the hook, you understand what I'm saying? He's not going to get involved in that. He's going to retreat. You understand what I'm saying? They're going to let them do what they want because he knows where he's at in boxing and he knows what he wants out of boxing. You understand what I'm saying? So I talk to him like a son to a father about any type of activity that's not conducive to his image as a fighter.
Now, I don't want you to say anything that gets you in a rock and a hard place, but like, this is your fighter, like you said, the one that you're the head trainer of, and we have, dozens of trainers on. You guys are all working with these guys, and eventually you want him to be that guy so that you get your cut. There's no malice in that. You put in the work, you want to reap some of those benefits. Do you feel that his career is being moved at the right pace and that he's getting the necessary push? Because he's TMT, but he's on the East Coast, whereas most TMT fighters, Mayweather fighters, they live in Vegas. You got him in the East. Being in the East, do you feel he still gets that Mayweather, publicity?
Well, he fought in the Barkley a few times. And he fought in Vegas. It's kind of like equal. But I want him more over here because this is where people know him. This is where he can build his brand. A lot of things can occur. So I'm kind of iffy with it, and I explained that to him. But like I said again, it's kind of like equal in terms of where he fought. In Vegas and also in New York. So we're looking forward to bringing him back to New York again, and hopefully, we get the fights, the necessary fights that we need here, so that our people will see him more.
Is it meeting your expectations though? Like I'm assuming when you first signed to him, it's like, all right, we signing a Mayweather. How is it now? Because you guys are what? How many years in now?
Well, we got a 5-year contract. It's almost up. I think in another year. They've been delivering. What's been happening is because of the COVID situation, and also a lot of fights that he was supposed to have, some of the guys fell off. So again, they're doing their part. And like I said, I think we got like another year, and from there, we see what happens.
So you train a manager too?
Nah, no, we gonna hook him up with a manager.
Oh, he doesn't have one just yet.
Nah, we're not looking having one. We don't have one just yet. But I got my sights on Keith. Keith.
Of course I know Keith. And why was I gonna recommend him first? But I figured like that was gonna happen anyway because you seen what he's done for all of Rozier's fighters.
Right.
So right. I gotta ask this hard one, man. Speaking of Rozier, Keith is with Danny. Danny was with Rozier. Danny used to call Rozier his father, but then that big fight came, man. How do you handle that as a trainer? You work with a guy, you change his diapers, he has a kid, you watch his kid, you call him son, and then it's like, yo, we about to make that $1 million ticket, and you like, nah, champ, I'm doing this one on my own. And you as the trainer got to sit there and watch the guy that you poured all this love, all this attention, all these years,
right,
like, do it without you, man. How do you deal with that? And is that in your mind, or do you just block that out and hope that never happens?
I just hope that it never happens. I hope that it never happens. Richardson was telling me something. I don't want to talk about it on thing, but he showed his loyalty towards me in this particular instance. And that's very important. And one thing he always says, we came up together. We came up together. It wouldn't be right for me to not tell you this or tell you that, or they trying to. You see what I'm saying? So that's a good thing. I don't know if Danny and Rosette had these kind of conversations. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know if Danny ever showed him like that loyalty. Through conversation. I don't know. You dig what I'm saying? But I know the conversation that me and Richardson had, so I don't think about that.
I kind of defended Danny, obviously, from the outside looking in, not knowing anything at all. Danny never spoke to me. Roger never spoke to me about it. That's something personal. We just talked about it on the show as a topic. This is a talk show for boxing. So as a topic, we spoke about it. And I kind of defended Danny in the sense that, like, Danny's had so many big fights. I want to believe Roger already made some decent money. I could be wrong. I don't know how trainers are paid. I don't like asking questions about how much people are paid, whether you a trainer, a fighter, a strength. That's your business. But I want to assume Danny been getting title shots since he had cornrows, man. So, like, Roger should have something saved up off of just Danny, let alone all the fighters he got. So I felt like, yeah, it sucks because that was your big Canelo fight, and you want to be there with your guy, but at the same time, it's like your guy kind of probably already made you rich. I'm just outside looking in.
Yeah, but be that as it may, I mean, that's what it's all about. You dig what I'm saying? Whether if he had all these other fights and he got paid, and it shouldn't have made a difference. For me, it shouldn't have made a difference. As long as that lawyer, because that's what you're in it for. You dig what I'm saying? Especially when you're bringing a young fighter up. Now, I don't know. Like, it's two sides to every story. So, I mean, it's two sides to every story. So I could say what Andre feels, but I don't know what Danny feels. You understand what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Only one to say that is him.
I hear you.
Or the law.
I hear you, man. So we got some questions from the people. They knew you was coming on the show, and they asked you some questions. But these are no trolls. These are respected, loyal listeners.
Real quick before we get that, I didn't get a background. I wasn't too familiar with you coming on. Nessa said that you would come on, that you trained Richardson Hitchison. But you want to just give us real quick, like, have you ever fought, or just like a overall background real quick before we go to the callers?
My uncle started training me when I was a kid.
Okay.
But he never really took me to the gym. And the thing was that, I was incarcerated. And when I got incarcerated for a very long time, that's why I started honing my skills. And I became the junior middleweight and welterweight champion. Because they used to bring guys in from the streets. They bring them in from the streets. We was fighting different penitentiary guys.
Damn, that's like B-Hop, right? Didn't B-Hop have fights in prison?
Hopkins, right.
Oh, you fought Bernard?
No, I didn't fight Bernard, but like you said, it was like him.
Yeah.
So that's what it was. I was at Auburn State Correctional Facility. And like I said, I became a junior middleweight and welterweight champion. So then when I came home, I was like up in age. I was 33, 32. I didn't think that I could make it in boxing because of my age. It was one thing they used to always say about when you get older, your reflexes diminish. It's not the same, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So what I did was I said, you know what? So I started going to the different gyms like Gleason's, and that's why I met Poison Junior Jones and a few other fighters. And I started working with a kid by the name of Jonathan Telefario. He fought, what's his name? They used to do the Golden Glove, Brian Adams.
Yeah.
Oh, Brian Adams.
Yep. The dreads.
Yeah, I started working with him. I worked with a guy by the name of Rodriguez. Rodriguez, it was one of Bruce's fighters. I took him to Virginia. He beat the former USBA champion, Reggie Brown. That's why I met Angie De La Rosa, Mendoza. So it goes on. So I just stayed in the gym kind of like, and then that's when I ran into Curtis, Andre. I started training Charles Vanderveer. That's when Curtis and Anthony Irons and all of them was in the gym as amateur young fighters.
By Curtis, you mean Stevens?
Yeah, Curtis Showtime Stevens. And so that's when I started putting the hands on all those guys, from Danny to Curtis to Louis Collazo, all of them, Dimitri Salita, all of them, all of us came from Starlight Boxing Gym. And then I went to Strong Brothers Boxing Gym. And then it goes on. And now I'm here. You know, so I've always been around boxing. I've been in boxing. I did box before. You know, I just had an unfortunate situation. That's all.
So, being as though that you honed your craft in the penitentiary, right? Like, we like to talk about how could we build this sport.
It's all right. You cut out right before you're about to ask it.
And I asked the whole thing. So what? He didn't hear nothing.
Nothing.
You started something about you were talking about fixing something.
Yeah, our thing is like, you know, we like to try to make the sport greater, and I just, you know, hearing your story about honing in your craft in the penitentiary, we always try to figure out ways to make the sport bigger. So I'm thinking the curriculum, like how hard is it to add boxing to the school curriculum, since we already see wrestling and fencing and basketball and football in schools? Why can't we get boxing in the school systems? Because I think that's why we lose so many potential fighters to basketball or to football, or even now soccer's in school. Like, when is boxing gonna get the chance to be in school and be I would have joined if I could go up against Eastside High and I'm Barringer High. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm Barringer's champ and I got a trophy or a belt. No different than wrestling. I don't understand why it's so difficult to cultivate our sport.
Well, we got to bring it in there. We got to bring it in there, and like as far as like gymnastics. You know, it got to be incorporated within that curriculum. You feel me? And I mean, maybe we have to draw up something, because you can't take boxing in school as an exercise, because there's some people that do it. You know, like I spoke to Coach Kelly. He told me he did something like that. A female that I know, she was trying to push me. She said, you know, establish a curriculum and take it to the board, you know, because you can get paid for that. So that's what we need to do. I think that schools, and I'm only guessing that maybe schools don't want it because it's more of a physical sport, and they don't want, you know what I mean, kids fighting in the yard or fighting in classrooms, etc. But if we could somehow try to get it in there, because boxing is a disciplinary sport. You got to be disciplined, or just like with karate and like any other sport. So I think that if we bring it to the powers that be, that we can sell it. So I mean, I don't think nobody ever tried it.
I think it's as simple as the gym teacher introducing, let's say, pad work. You know,
right.
You don't even got to do contact. You could start off pad work, and eventually the children themselves are going to want to spar, you know, as they get better with the pad work. But Lenny, we got a bunch of questions from the people. Like I said, there are loyal guys. We got Victor Banuelos that says, Canelo Alvarez versus Jamal Charlo, who wins and why do you think so?
First of all, I think that Canelo would win because he has great upper body movement. He has great upper body movement. Charlo is a great fighter, but he's more of a heavy hitter. He wants to like swing from the fences and so forth and so on. And I think because of Canelo's abilities in terms of his speed, his feints, his footwork, head movement, he'll make a miss. He'll make a miss a lot. And sometimes when you get a fighter missing a lot of punches, it kind of can be discouraging and open them up, you know, for your game plan. So I would go with Canelo.
The next one is from BZ from New York. He says, shout out to my New York brethren. I'm not familiar with the name, but I will be. My question is off topic. Seeing that your name is so close to the King Lenny Williams, have you ever been mistaken for him or his son? God bless, and I plan to see your work as I am now going to follow your work. Thanks to TBV.
Lenny Williams? Lenny Williams, the singer.
Yeah, he
Lenny
said
Williams.
he said King Lenny Williams. I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know.
Lenny Williams is the singer. That song you sing. So I mean, what was the question?
Have you ever been mistaken for him or his son?
Oh no, I've been mistaken for Lenny Williams. People hear me say Lenny Williams, and they run right to it. They go, "Oh, Lenny Williams, the singer," and I said, "Nah, I'm not Lenny Williams, but yeah, I've been mistaken for Lenny Williams. Because my name is Lenny Wilson."
Yeah. All right, we got Natural Wiz in Canada says, what is your advice on weightlifting and boxing training combined?
Well, with weightlifting, you can do weights as a fighter. You can do weights in repetition, not heavy weights. Because if you do heavy weights, powerlifting, it will slow you up. But when you do lightweight and you do it repetitionally, it helps sharpen your twitch muscles. You understand? And it gives you, and it cuts you up. So I would recommend that if a fighter does lift weight, that he does like lightweight and not heavyweight.
Now, what do you think of this method that Canelo has recently released that he does, which is do like strength and conditioning or running before sparring purposely to go in tired so that he's got to dig deeper so that on fight night, he ain't running or strength and conditioning, so he's already like 110% fresh.
That sounds like I told you earlier, like what Andre Ward said, you want to try to win every sparring session. I think that if you're doing strength and condition a day before a fight and you lifting weights and everything, you're not going to perform at that level.
No. Not day before the fight. What I'm saying is like what in his 8-week training camp, before sparring, he'll do his strength and conditioning or his runs to purposely go into sparring next a little bit more tired so he got to dig deeper because then he ain't doing none of that on fight night. You understand?
It depends on how he do it. Like, it depends on how he does it. I mean, because you can run in the morning. Because, for instance, when I used to train Curtis and all of them, I used to have them running. And then we take them straight to the gym, and they get in there and they start sparring. So I think the running to some point helps loosen you up, warm the muscles up, so that when you do get in there to spar, you can work. But if you go in tight, because some of the fighters are not stretching, but if you go in there tight, you loose, you ready to go, your muscles is warm, so you can spar. Now with the strength and condition, I don't know, because it depends on what he's doing. Like if he's doing a lot of leg work, power lifting and all that stuff, I don't think that's good. I think it's going to slow him down. I think he can get hurt in sparring when he does it like that. A lot of fighters complain about that. Why Canelo do it? I don't know. I tell my fighter, you don't need to be no punching bag, in the ring. Slowing down, you can't get off, and you can't execute the things that you're being taught. When you heavy, when you lifting weights and all that stuff and getting in there, like I said, it depends on what you're doing with that strength and conditioning.
All right. We got George in Dallas, Fort Worth, who says you recently been picking against Canelo. Did you give Canelo credit for beating Jacobs and Kovalev the way he did?
What that guy said? Who is that guy?
He said,
let me be honest.
He said you recently been picking against Canelo. That's George from Dallas, Fort Worth.
No, I never picked against Canelo. I never picked against Canelo. When I'm in the gym with Danny Jacobs. So I see the training and I see what's going on. And I knew that once Danny, if he fought Canelo and he stopped moving, the fight was going to go the other way. You understand what I'm saying? So that's it. That was my choice. My choice was Canelo. My choice was Canelo when he fought Danny Jacobs, and that's it. I mean, I'm a boxing coach. I'm gonna tell it like it is. If you're sitting in front of Canelo and you're not moving and you're not boxing and you're not staying active and busy, you're gonna lose.
So did you give him credit for Kovalev?
Kovalev? I knew Kovalev was going to lose against Canelo.
So you gave Canelo no credit?
I never picked Kovalev.
But
Kovalev.
what I'm saying is, that was his question, did you give Canelo credit for beating Kovalev the way that he did?
I gave him a whole lot of great credit.
Okay.
Because he went to the body, he stayed close to the taller man, he took away his jab, and he dunked to the body, and he did what he was supposed to do as a shorter guy, a shorter man. So I give him great credit for that.
All right, we got Big Nick in the UK that says, good morning, Lenny, and thanks for coming on the show. What's your thoughts on big punchers who shy away from the sweet science? How do you prepare them to take on the elite boxers, boxer punchers, and puncher boxers of the division?
The big punchers, I would, for a big puncher, I would tell him not to always rely on his power. I would teach him boxing, slip bobbing and weaving, moving his feet, using his jab, punches and punches.
Lenny, this is a sandbag question, man. This is a UK dude, and you can hear it in the question. This is about Wilder, right? Like, listen again. He says, what's your thoughts on big punchers who shy away from the sweet science? Remember, Wilder in interviews, it says, he ain't traditional. You got to be perfect for 12. He only got to be perfect for 1 second. So that it's a hidden Wilder question, man. Like, what would you do to get Wilder ready, basically?
Well, what I would have did with Wilder to get Wilder ready, I would have had him boxing. Like, you can't rely just on that one punch. Because if you get a guy that's fast and that can make you miss and so on and so on, he could when you're gonna wait for 12 rounds to get that big punch off, you done lost the fight. Mm-hmm. You gotta have more mechanics than just a big punch. Of course, in boxing, you want to have a punch. You understand? You want to have a punch, but you might not get that big punch off. And you get in there with a guy that can move and make you miss and use his feet and use his jab and little punch, you can lose the fight. So I would suggest to a big puncher also hone his skills, so that just in case his punch don't come off, that he have something else to fall back on.
Roughhouse Boxing TV. Good morning, Lenny. Without giving the fighter's name, give us a quick story or example of some of the hardships and headaches of being a professional trainer. Much success to you. All hail Silverback. All hail ACB.
Well, come back again with that question.
Give some of the hardships or stories or examples that you have had being a professional trainer, without giving any names of the fighter that might have caused you any hardships or headaches.
Well, some of the hardships could be I really haven't had a lot of hardships,
God bless.
I
said blessed.
Right, but I know that some of the hardships can be when you train the guy and he's not listening, or if you're telling him to do certain things and he want to go do something else. You feel me? And that's a problem. That's a problem, because I think that a trainer and a fighter need to be as one. They need to be in unison. You understand? Especially because when you're fighting and you're in the corners, y'all got to be on the same page. So one of the hardships would be a fighter not listening, not doing what he's supposed to do, coming into the gym, being too arrogant. And we know that, arrogance can also be close to confidence, but it's a line that you draw. It's a line that you draw. So, and that would be some of the hardship for me, because of the passion that I have for boxing. And I want to give you my best and my all, So that would be a hardship for me. A fighter just coming to the gym, living off the hook, not doing what he's supposed to do as a fighter, not eating right, because it's not good. Because when a fighter loses, the coach loses too. Because even though they say the fighter's in there fighting and the coach is not taking the punches, we're there. And a loss could be a big thing. It's like when Saddam fought Magia, so to speak. That messed me up, because I worked with Saddam for a long, long time. even when he was a young kid, and just to see him get hurt like that affects me too. In fact, that thing affected me for like a whole week or two, So, I mean, that can be a hardship. So that's it.
All right. We have James Valdez from San Antonio. Brooklyn has a history of great fighters and champs. Keep doing your thing, Coach. Salute to you, and thanks for coming on the show. So no question, just showing you some love. We got Carlito in the UK who says, what's good, Coach Lenny? In your opinion, who has the higher ceiling, Tank Haney or Shakur? So it's three of them, Tank, Haney, or Shakur. He put no comma.
All of them are my guys, man. All of them are my guys. Bro, buddy, who has the highest ceiling? Right now, Tank. Right now, Tank. Right now, Gervonta Tank Davis. Because, Shakur is a great fighter. Devin Haney is on a come up. He got him a belt the way he got his belt. I don't even know if he still have the belt. But right now, it's Tank.
Yo, I can't let you say that about my guy. I heard the way.
I don't even know if he got the belt.
Yo, wait a minute.
Yeah, he did.
Huh?
He said he got it by default.
But it's a belt, though.
Yes, I don't dispute that. I don't dispute that at all, but he got to fight. He got to fight.
Yo.
Yeah, it's a belt. It hold up his pants.
Let me ask you something. Let me ask you a question because you know them both. Chris,
three of them.
Nah. I'm going to throw a dark horse. They ain't throwing there. Chris Colbert.
Oh, little B.I. That's my little man. B.I.
What do you think with him? Because people not saying his name with those guys, and I feel like pretty soon they should be, if not right now.
Well, B.I. still got a lot to prove. He won him a belt. He fought. He didn't get his belt.
Oh, so you call that a belt, huh?
He got him a ranking belt. It's a ranking belt. He got him a ranking belt. He didn't get it by default.
What's a ranking belt? What's that? Explain that.
Put him in the rank. You could put him in the rank.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. It's an interim title. Okay, I get what you mean.
So, he got him a belt. He fought for it. He proven himself. He still have yet to prove, but he's proven himself. I don't know if he's up there with the Gervontas and the Shakurs and the Devin Haney. And again, that also involves management, PR, and those different type of things that builds you up.
Yo, I love that you understand publicity has a lot to play with in it too, man, and management. Like that's shows your knowledge in this game. Moving forward, we got Steve in Chicago, who says, thanks for coming on the show. Thanks for coming on the show. Would you like to see Canelo versus Jacobs rematch at 168?
Nah. Canelo already beat him. Yeah, Canelo beat him already. And you said,
No, I be saying, yo, listen. I thought Canelo did real good. I was shocked. Like, he was like Neo in the Matrix in that fight, man.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. I told Richardson, I said, yo, if Daddy don't do X, Y, and Z, I said, Canelo's going to come out, slip bobbing and weaving, making a miss. Or I said, once he stop moving, that's going to be it. That's going to be it. And that's what it was. Canelo's a great fighter. He does a lot of good things. I just hope that he don't get stuck on his power.
You think Richardson is going to be one of them guys that's like Shakur, get a title shot like 13, 15 and 0, or we doing him traditionally when we get to like 20 and something and 0?
He should. Because Richardson can fight. And I see his development. And he's been in there in the ring sparring with champions and doing real good. So he should. He spars with the best. He spars with the best, from the Tank Davis and the Shakur to Terrence Crawford. He spars with those guys. So he should.
What's his stamina like? His
stamina is good. And each time you see Richardson fight, he's going to get better and better and better, because that's what I want. And that's how I talk to him. And like one thing I tell him is that you can have all the skills in the world, but if you don't have good conditioning, to execute those skills, it's not going to come out. It's not going to come out. So you got to have good footwork, good jab, and everything. Because now when you have good conditioning, you're building up your will. So you're going to have will and skill. If you get a fighter that just has skill, and you get in there with a guy like Mayweather who got the will, you can fall short. You see what I'm saying?
Definitely.
And that's one thing Mayweather had. He had the skill, but he also had the will because of his conditioning.
It's like those phrases you see on the gym wall: stamina makes cowards out of men.
Yeah, no, fatigue.
Oh, fatigue. There you go.
Fatigue makes cowards out of men.
There you go.
It's fatigue. So yes, I could see him becoming one of those guys, one of those great fighters. As long as he stay in the gym and continue to eat, sleep, and drink it. And he can do it. He can definitely do it because he has what it takes, and he's still learning. He's still learning, and he's evolving. And the questions that he asks, are very important. So you see it. So I can see him, doing it, being a world champion.
We got King Amin in Essex who says, "Peace, champ. Are you familiar with an amateur fighter named Kevin Eugene Davis out of Brownsville? If so, tell us about him if you are familiar."
I'm not familiar with him. Kevin Eugene Davis. Nah, I'm not familiar with him.
Stonebone Boxing in Colorado says, "Peace, coach. Haven't met Richardson here in Colorado. When he was working with Shakur, he is so humble, and he and Shakur relationship seem as genuine brothers. My question, how did that relationship blossom, and how long have they known each other?"
Wow, they known each other since they was kids, man. In fact, I just got a picture with Richardson and Shakur when they was little boys. And I think B-Hop was in that picture too. They was little boys. Like somebody sent the picture to me. I was like, oh wow. So he's been knowing them for a very, very, very long time. They grew up together.
All right. Last one is coming from Big Casual that says, if Wilder were to win the third fight, do you think the fourth fight can be the biggest fight in the heavyweight history?
What fight with him and who?
If he beats Fury, because they got a rematch.
I don't think he's going to beat Fury. I don't think he's ever going to beat Fury.
Well, that's the question. If he does beat him, do you think that the fourth fight would be the biggest fight in heavyweight history? Because, we've never seen that many heavyweight rematches from the same guy on this caliber.
Right.
Fighting four times.
I would say it depends on how he beat him. Because the fight had to be so electrifying that the public wanted to demand a fourth fight. You see what I'm saying?
You really think so? Because regardless, he taking a title. So now it's like, if he beats Fury, those Fury AJ plans are out the window.
Right.
So it's like, maybe you got to do that fourth fight because, a lot of people are like you. You don't even want, you don't sound like you want a third fight. You don't believe Wilder could win the third fight. So, if Wilder does get a win, people still going to be like, well, it's 2-1, man. He owe Wilder, I feel like that anyway. I feel like, he owe Fury a rematch because he really beat him twice. Everybody know that draw was a robbery. That's how people talk right now.
Right. But that draw, yeah. But I'm sure it'll be one of the biggest fights in history. I'm sure. Like the Thriller in Manila. I'm sure it would be one of the biggest fights in history. Or close to it.
So, Coach, man, before we let you go, any New York amateurs you working with that we should be looking out that might turn pro?
I forget this kid. The kid name is Jahad. He comes to the gym. He spars with Richardson a lot. I remember him. His name is Jahad, but I don't know his last name. Tall, skinny kid. He's going to be a force to reckon with. And, of course, Shoo Bruce Carrington. Of course, Shoo, he out there right now.
Yeah.
I've had the opportunity to work with him, too. And Shoo, he the man. Right now, Shoo's the man. He's one of the number one in the country. We looking for him to bring him back home the gold. You dig what I'm saying?
What weight he going to fight in the Olympics?
Yeah, he's fighting in the Olympics.
But
yeah.
what weight?
I think he's gonna shoot you. Might be 132. He might be 132.
Is he that low? Wow.
Yeah, he might be 132. He might even be lower.
Yeah, you know,
between 126 and 132.
Well, Coach, man, that's all our questions. We definitely want to thank you for coming on, man. We want to continue to get you on more regularly, especially now you got that Skype worked out. You know, the minute you and Richardson get some news, are you gonna be in Belanga's corner this week?
Nah, what happened was because of the COVID, what's happening is Top Rank is only allowing
one corner man. Yeah.
No, he's allowing two.
But they got them already there.
No. Listen, he was allowing two. It's supposed to be me and Dre, but because his father wanted to go, his father wanted to be with his son. So I told him, I said, I'll stay home, let him go, so he'll be in the corner. Because the way Top Rank got it, nobody could be there. It's only just the two coaches and the fighter. You know, I just was out there with Mikel Lespierre.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Lespierre.
So you heard what happened with his manager.
Yeah.
You heard what happened with
he left the bubble and he got tested, right?
Yeah.
And they called him.
Oh, Sway. That was
no. Yeah, who was that? That was his.
That was Josue's father. Josue's father.
Yeah.
Story
Okay.
talking
Father.
about.
Got you.
I was with Mikel Lespierre, and his manager had came with us.
Mm-hmm.
The first time.
Oh yeah, when he tested positive. And
yeah,
the fight
he
got
tested
canceled.
positive, right? Yeah.
So it was a problem there. They didn't want. They said, you know what? His manager should have never been there.
Mm-hmm.
So it could have just been two coaches. So they made it the way they made it. So I just told Dre, I said, don't worry about it. Just let his father, let Blianga's father get out there. But the coaches is me and Dre. You know? So
what's up with Josue? Because I seen you with a picture with Josue with his title. Was that before the fight where his father got kicked out? Was you just taking
the fight before? That was the fight before.
Okay, because I know that Chino worked with him the last fight because his father got kicked out or something.
That was the fight before. Who was out there? It was me. I was out there. I had somebody on that card. I forgot who it was though. So we was all out there together.
Well, so all right, man. But if you can, give out your social media, man. We want to thank you, obviously, for coming on. And like I said, man, the minute Richardson gets something or you got anything, we ready to bring you right back. Happy you was able to get this Skype going, and thank you again.
Right. You can reach me at Coach Lenny _100 rounds, and that's RDZ on Instagram. And I also have an email, exile, XXILE 60 at yahoo.com, and also boxicality at gmail.com.
All right. Well, Coach, man.
Thank you for considering me, and I really appreciate it.
For sure, man. You're doing great,
thank you.
You're doing great, man. We really like what you're doing with Richardson Hitchens. I'm happy you over there with Belanga, man. We expect great things from you guys, man. So, yeah, man, keep at it, brother.
Yeah, and so you guys have a nice day, and we'll talk soon.
All right. There you have it, ladies and gents. Lenny Wilson, Coach Lenny Wilson, trainer of Richardson Hitchens, works a lot of the assistant corners. I think we're going to go ahead and reconvene back at, I don't even know that it makes sense, but whatever, we'll be back.
I think it makes more sense just real quick. If you even want to just come back real quick as soon as we get a topic, and we can give everybody else calls, to talk about this topic and the next topic.
So we're going to go ahead and cut out, but we got Jeff Mayweather scheduled at 11:30. Catch us on the next one at 11:30. Peace.